Hello everyone, welcome back to another video and a tree I have had now for roughly 1 month in my collection, which is this clump-style or multi-trunk Ficus benjamina that you can see right here. The goal for today is to prune and shape it, so we're going to prune some of the branches or the trunks in here, the ones we just deem not really fitting for the design that we're going for. And then we're also going to prune, of course, the real branches up here a little bit and then also apply some wire if needed. So I would say let's start right away with getting a good overview of this tree. I have repotted this roughly a month ago, right after getting it into my collection. What I have seen since then is that on some branches there has been some dieback. You can see it, for example, here. This branch has pretty much lost all of its leaves. And others have already started to grow again. So there's new growth showing on many of these ones, up here especially. So that was to be expected. We did quite a harsh work on the roots when we repotted this, and we took out all of the soil, or most of the soil as possible. It was very dense in here. That was actually when I saw that these trees had started to fuse all around here and really within the leftover soil. So there was no way of separating them, so that's why we potted it as a multi-trunk bonsai. And now is definitely the time to look into which of these branches have maybe died back or are in bad health that we should take out, and which of them should we develop further. So I would simply get my garden shears ready and start to take a look around. I can see, for example, here a smaller branch that is just poking out, so I would take this out right away and we just make our way through here. I can also see here part of it has died back. I see some growth back here, so we can, I think, take it back to this healthy growth that is still showing. Same here, just a little side branch died back. I think when we moved to the other side there was actually more where this was the case, especially here. We'll take this back, but not fully out yet. And also here. So this was mainly around this part of the tree where it lost a lot of foliage. We're also going to shorten many of these because, of course, right now no work has been done on them yet. So they are just very laggy. So I would, for example, shorten this right away here. And also it seems a bit heavy on this side and too tall, definitely. So we're also going to go in here and see where we can take some part back. Also already looking a little bit at the branch structure where we should focus on. But the first rough haircut we can do a bit quicker, definitely. Just taking out some of the height of this tree. So there will be a lot of branches we will take out. Of course, you could root something like this, as I have a lot of Ficus benjamina in my home right now. I think today I'm not going to take any cuttings. I also do experience that in cold season it's a bit more difficult to get them to root. It is still possible, of course, but you need to make sure the temperature is up and it gets enough sunlight, which of course is easier in growth season. Also go in here. And this looks way too tall now in comparison to the rest. Let me take another look around. And I think still here we can just shorten the tips a little bit. And maybe on this side also just shorten it a bit. So that already decreased the height considerably. Let's also see here, because it seems a bit crowded. That seems also to be one of the reasons that there has been some dieback on this tree, because of course if it's too crowded, the light won't really reach the inner parts of this entire structure and this entire constellation. Then it gets difficult for it to actually keep the leaves in the middle. So that's why there's a lot of dieback then. So other than that, I would still go a bit more into really the middle here and just taking out some flaws I can spot right away that we also won't get corrected with wiring then. But I mean, we don't really have much crossing going on here, which is good. Here we have a bit of parallel growth very far down, so we take this out as well. So it's already starting to take shape, definitely. What I do spot right away is that in here which gets very crowded. And probably this very thick branch here we will try to wire a little bit. Probably link it to another one on the other side and try to wire it out. Let me check the other side, because I'm not really sure what the front of the tree will be. Let's take a look at this part and then turn it around again. I find this one is a bit too crowded, to be honest, and especially with the tree right here in front of it, we would have to take this one out, and then it gets a little bit bare. So this one I would like to keep on. So I would focus on this as the front and simply see how we still can fill out the back here a little bit by opening this up, giving it more of a, yes, an old tree look that is spreading out its canopy. And I think we can achieve that with a couple of wires applied here to some of the trees. Let's see if there's still some more pruning we should do, maybe shorten it here a little bit, but I think for now, let's focus on moving on to the wiring and seeing how we can change the shape of this tree with that. So I'm getting some wire ready. It is 2 millimeter. That should be fine for this tree as far as I can see right now, because we just want to change the direction of the tree a little bit. And the question is, how do we get in here? Or with what other trunk we should really start to wire this together. So it will be this branch here, and probably we'll wire it with something here that we can also then spread out a little bit in this direction. But I guess rather this one in front here. That might be a bit too much of a jump over there, but let's give it a try. By just basically hooking it a little bit on this branch right here. So this serves mainly the purpose of stabilizing the wire, so I'm not really focusing too much on really positioning this branch in a completely different way. So we're just trying to stabilize it here and then make our way up this branch. Of course, on a crowded tree like this, it's always a bit more finicky, but we can still manage. Probably already go one up here. And just with quite a lot of gap in between wired this tree. So then let's see if we can bend it. I would like to bend it a bit in this direction to fill out this area here, especially to look at the front and to give it a little bit more. And yes, give it a little bit more shape here. And also bring this down just a notch here to spread it out a little bit. It makes it less crowded, definitely. It still fills nicely in here with this back branch, but it definitely gives us already a bit more of a triangular shape. I'm trying to make that a little bit more pronounced yet still by also shortening what we have just pruned back here or wired in this direction. So cutting a little bit here on this side, and especially also still bringing down part of this. This is a very thin trunk anyway, as well as this one. Bringing it down also here in the back a little bit to, yeah, here's a nice branch. And I think that already has cleaned up this tree tremendously for now for cold season. I think it's good if those two branches start to settle in, and we will continuously work on more branches in here. We might even take out some of them. For example, we could probably do without this one even, or incorporate it in a different way because they are quite parallel here. But for that, I want to see also how the growth has been doing, if there's any more branches that are not that healthy that will maybe die back or at least lose a lot of foliage. So to see what we work with, I would wait probably till spring here, then see if the wire has already stabilized those trees and then continue working on it. But yeah, until then, of course, I will make sure I take care of it. If it continues to grow, also make sure it has enough fertilizer to have healthy growth and continue then working on it in another video. If you have any suggestions for this tree, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm happy to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, of course, feel free to leave a like. And if you enjoy my channel and the content I'm posting here, of course, feel free to subscribe to it. Hopefully I will see you in the next video then. Until then, take care.